Okay.
Hey, it's Steve Maeda.
I'm Chris Pacheco.
Hey, so this is a video again specifically designed for 40-year-old guys, 50-year-old guys, pretty much guys with status who have their life together. You don't necessarily need to be those ages, but if you have your life together, you don't need to be doing all this crazy, stupid shit.
Like little circus acts.
You need to show up in all the right ways and kind of show the right kind of intent. So basically, this video is specifically geared towards 3 things that you can do to arouse a woman, to attract a woman that is half your age. All right, and pretty much the first thing I would say is if you haven't watched the previous videos, go back and watch them. Because to get the right mentality and perspective and kind of like debunk some of those myths and kind of know that, doing less is actually better, vitally important. Or else a lot of these things are not going to make sense, It's
no, it's true. It's very theoretical. It's very abstract. So you have to really, really ground those ideas.
Absolutely.
And then now we're going to give you just some examples of how you can concretely put those ideas to practical work. So that's what this is.
And before we get into the super nitty-gritty, again, why we do these videos? Look, nobody is doing them, and why is
we have these conversations all the time, right? I mean, you and I have these conversations. We have them with our friends.
Yeah, guys come to us, and they're pissed off and upset. They think it's them that's not attractive, and they're not capable of having these relationships, or women aren't attracted to them. And the reality of it is that women want. They want an older man.
Well, before we get into the nitty-gritty, which we're going to do in just a second, I wanted to also reiterate that, it's also fair to say that it is a different world for men today and older men. They think that they are under the same kinds of pressure that women, quite honestly, have been under for a long time. That same, like, am I good enough? Am I too old? Am I this and that? Because that's the society we live in now. And it makes all of us feel bad for very stupid reasons. So just go back to the drawing board.
Right. And really, it's simple. The reality of it is you already have these things in you, but because of, whatever culture, society, and all these walls put in front of us, we're telling you little techniques to get around them. But those beliefs are really important. Also, the other thing, too, is, look, this material is unique. It's different than pretty much anything else you have. You don't need to be that 24-year-old kid that teaches you how to be good in a club. You need to be a guy that knows how to be a man, and part of knowing how to be a man is being good with women. Part of being a woman, and knowing how to be a woman is knowing how to be good with men.
Yes, that's just
really simple,
back
really
and
normal.
forth.
The first thing is actually how to approach and assert your confidence. Because what's going to happen, and whatever venue you choose, and we're going to get into the venues in a second, but when you approach and when you assert yourself, and you're an older man, or even if you're a younger man, there's going to be a second where that woman questions it. Now, a younger man can do all this crazy, flashy shit. Right?
And he can cartwheels, and they have their friends around them playing their music in the car, whatever.
But see, that's not your angle. Your angle, and referring back to the other videos, is this dominant, controlled, calm, sexual demeanor. Remember, we're sexual right from the start. Is an older guy. That confidence can't react. That confidence has to be calm. And so what's going to happen, and what you're going to do on your approaches, whatever the venues are, and that's going to determine a lot of these things, is we are trying to customize, and again, why private instruction is so important. You want to customize how to be calm and confident, and how to project your sexuality. So let's say you walk up to a girl and you're at a bookstore and she's reading a magazine, and you just ask a simple question. And this is actually the great thing about an older man, is the way you open or initiate a conversation does not need to be anything crazy in depth. In fact, anything that's too wandery or opinionated is going to actually work against you. But if you just go up and ask a typical kind of guy question and get a little bit closer, there's going to be a point of reaction that she is going to have.
And you have to be comfortable with that.
And
you have to expect that, actually.
Is you have to expect that, know that it's going to happen, and not say anything, but stay here. Stay here and be able to smile, and then you wait a beat and ask something else. So, specific situation, she's reading a magazine, Guns and Ammo, right?
Guns and Ammo, of course. Tattoo magazine.
She's reading one of these magazines, right? And you go up and you talk to her, and they have a little magazine kiosk, and you can kind of lean up against it. As you're getting a little bit closer, it's like at that point where it starts to feel uncomfortable, you get there and you just say, hey, I wanted to ask you something, but say it's as simple as where's a good place to eat around here. That is actually going to communicate a level of confidence and sexuality because of all the stuff we talked about in the first two videos.
Yes, yeah.
Then asking a question which like has this crazy hook and she gets engaged, you know, in some bizarre conversation that is taken away from all your strong points. But if you ask just a typical question and get a little bit closer, lean up against that stand, and she's going to sit there and put her magazine down, and she's going to get scared for either a split second, 5 seconds, but it's not going to be too long.
Yeah.
And at that point where you can remain calm, that's what I want you to get good at.
Yeah, yeah.
That in itself is going to stir up arousal. Because remember, when we do that, when we show up and don't react and are able to, we're a little bit closer, and we'll get into the specifics of that, we are actually showing that, hey, you have the potential to feel something that you've never felt.
Safely.
Yes. And as a woman, just like Chris explained in the earlier video, she may not even know she wants that, but when that opportunity is presented in front of her,
suddenly feels good.
Exactly. And
I wanted to say about the confidence, be sure that you own your confidence and not sort of portray cockiness, you know, the cockiness.
Oh, yes.
By not trying to compensate with cockiness,
between,
but own your
confidence and arrogance are two different things.
Yeah, so just wanted to say that.